Elijah, declaring the word of the Lord. And these are the days of your servant Moses, righteous as he is restored. And though these are days of great trial, of famine and darkness and sorrow, still we are the voice in the desert, crying, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Behold, he comes, riding on clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, the year of Jubilee, and Mount Zion till salvation comes. And these are the days of Ezekiel, the dry bones been under his bed. And these are the days of your servant David, rebuilding the temple of praise. And these are the days of the harvest, for the fields are as wide in your world. And we are the laborers in your vineyard, declaring the word of the Lord. Behold, he comes, riding on clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, the year of Jubilee, and Mount Zion till salvation comes. There's no God like Jehovah. 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 Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, the year of Jubilee, and Mount Zion till salvation comes. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, the year of Jubilee, and Mount Zion till salvation comes. Lift your voice, the year of Jubilee, and Mount Zion till salvation comes.
This morning, we will reflect on Deuteronomy 21 verses 10 through 14. In this passage, we see important instruction about how to treat women who are captive in war, specifically those who are not Canaanite. Well, this might seem like an ancient law, but it holds a valuable message about respecting the dignity and rights of those who are vulnerable. In a world filled with conflict, war, and power struggles, these verses challenge us to rise to a higher standard set by God. This special concern for the women and the vulnerable prompts us to reflect on our own ethics and the responsibility we have within our communities today. In Deuteronomy 7, God commands the Israelites not to intermarry with certain nations. However, in Deuteronomy 20, when Israel has distinct nations, they are instructed to seek peace first. And if peace is rejected, they are allowed to conquer, but not to destroy everything. God specifically commanded women captive be spared, recognizing the possibility of integrating them into the Israelite society. However, when we see Deuteronomy 21, here we see that if an Israelite man captured a woman in war, he is given a choice to marry her, but he must treat her with respect. The law protects her dignity, requiring a month-long wedding period during which she received her new clothing and a new home, symbolizing her translation from captivity to honor. This period is meant to prevent abuse and ensure that she is treated with care rather than as a mere property. This morning, I would like to bring 5 important points basing on this verse. Point number 1, power with compassion, rethinking authority in pursuit of justice. When we see in Deuteronomy chapter 20 verse 10, we are challenged to imagine a world where power and authority are used with compassion and justice. The phrase, hand them over to you, reminds us that power comes with great responsibility. This verse invites us to see captive as individual worthy of honor and not as property. It redefines strength as the ability to uplift others with integrity and not dominate them. This passage urges us to create space where vulnerability is met with compassion and to confront systems that dehumanize. In point 2, desire with dignity, attractions with responsibility and integrity. Deuteronomy 21 verse 11 presents a powerful sequence. See desire 1. A soldier sees a beautiful woman among the captive. The word beautiful goes beyond just a physical appearance, but the Bible does not simply condemn this natural reaction. It gives us a clear guidance of how to handle desire and attractions with integrity and respect. The soldier is not simply allowed to take what he wants. If he desires her, he must marry her. This is a radical shift from the common practice of exploitations to responsibility. And this passage invites us to reflect on our own desire and actions that lead to. What do we do with the things we desire? Do we act with tears and intention? And as we consider this teaching, let us cultivate a prophetic imagination, a vision of world where desire is handled with responsibility, where commitment and dignity shape our interaction, and where everyone is treated with honor they deserve. In Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 12 through 14, we witness a profound journey from captivity to dignity. It is a prophetic journey that speaks not only to the Israelite, but to the hearts of God's justice and God's deep care for the marginalized. Point 3, captivity, a life marked by loss in verse 12. The woman in this passage is captive, taken in war, displaced from her family, and uprooted from her home. She has lost her family, her culture, and even her identity, and she finds herself in a state of profound dehumanization, where her value is reduced to mere poverty, and where her dignity crossed by the violence and power of the situation. This tragic reality is not just confined to the past or to the wartime. It is still a pressing issue today. Many women around the world suffer from the same kind of mistreatment. They are victims of violence in war, whether through rape, murder, torture, sexual abuse, and even public humiliations and death. Women, regardless of the status, are still dehumanized in many ways. They are emotionally and physically neglected, treated as though they have no worth beyond their bodies and their labor. Every woman, regardless of her background, is at risk of being reduced to less than human, and we must work to restore the dignity and worth. Point 4. The call to dignity, restoring worth and honor in verse 12. In here, we see that God commands the Israelite men to treat her with respect and honor her with humanity. She is not just a captive to be exploited, but a person worthy of new beginning, care, and love. So the ritual of shaving her head and changing her clothes symbolizes a new identity, and the mourning period gave her a space to process her loss and transitions emotionally, signifying that healing and renewal are necessary before moving forward. Fifth, a prophetic call to justice, a compassionate action, verses 13 through 14. At the heart of this passage is God's justice. The woman is not to be mistreated, sold, or rejected. And if the marriage does not work, she is free to live without penalty. This is a stark contrast to what we see in the world today. In our world today, justice is still needed. People, especially the marginalized, are often mistreated, silenced, and oppressed. God's justice calls us to stand for those who are vulnerable, whether they are refugees, the homeless, victims of violence, or those oppressed by unjust system. We are called not just to sympathize, but to advocate for the dignity and freedom. Today, it is not only about women. Captivities may come in different forms: poverty, violence, social exclusions, or injustice. We live in a world where power and politics often seek to oppress the vulnerable, where systems of injustice thrive, and where the voices of the minorities are often silenced and ignored. However, Deuteronomy 20 verse 10 to 14 offer us that it is not just a challenge, but a prophetic mandate to recognize the dignity of every person, to see them as God sees them, and to take actions that move beyond sympathy to justice. Let us be a prophetic community, a community that does not merely observe the suffering of others, but rises in action, courage, and advocacy. We are called not to remain silent in the face of injustice, nor to ignore the voices of the oppressed. We are called to be an agent of transformation, working alongside God's Spirit to bring renewal, justice, and dignity for all people, especially the vulnerable. God calls us to something radically different, a world where every individual is treated with honor, where every person's story is heard, and where no one is ever seen as less human. Whether in our institutions, in our home, or in the neighborhood, we must bridge the gap, speak for justice, and actively participate in the renewal of all that is broken. Therefore, let us walk this journey together with courage and compassion, knowing that in doing so, we participate in God's redemptive work on earth, from captivity to dignity, from oppression to freedom. This is the prophetic journey we are called to walk, and it begins with each of us. May God empower us, guide us, and use us as an instrument of justice and renewal for His glory and for the good of all God's people. Amen.
There are many people who say they are faithful, and they live like faithful on their worship day. But come the next morning till the day returns, they will hurt their neighbor all along the way. Oh, you don't show love. If you don't love your neighbor, if you gossip about them, if you never have mercy, if they get into trouble and you don't try to help them, then you don't love your neighbor and you don't show love. In the Holy Scriptures we are taught with mercy to forgive each other every day and night. We are called to kindness, to hold on compassion, and to act with justice and to do what's right. Oh, you don't show love. If you don't love your neighbor, if you gossip about them, if you never have mercy, if they get into trouble and you don't try to help them, then you don't love your neighbor and you don't show love. There's a greater calling, and we're called to answer. If we seek salvation and a home on high, if you say you love one, you hurt another, then you haven't shown love, you just stole that line. Oh, you don't show love. If you don't love, you'll never. If you don't sing about them, if you never have mercy, if they get into trouble and you don't try to help them, then you don't love your neighbor and you don't show love.